There's a lot of people leaving the state of California, especially after the state introduced an exit tax. Yes, you can thank Governor Newsom for this one. Leave the state and pay a one-time exit fee. It's a new one on me. I'm not aware of any other state in the country that has an exit tax. Anyways, moving to a new place can be difficult. So I put together this video to help Californians who are leaving the state to know about some things that you might want to expect or things that are different in the state of Utah. So let's get after it right now. And welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher. I'm a local real estate agent. And if you want to learn everything about the state of Utah, you've come to the right channel. You may consider tapping that subscribe button down below and hitting that bell notification. And YouTube will send you an alert every time I release a new video. And that's every week. And apart from making videos, I also help people buy or sell real estate. So if I can be of any assistance, I'll put my contact information on the screen. It'll also be in the show notes. So you're considering moving from California to Utah? Is it that much different that you need to watch a video? I would say that you do. I've vacationed in California for many years and I've noticed some differences. So let's get started right now. First on my list, you will notice a little extra money in your pockets. Yes, it might seem confusing at first. And you may say, did I forget to pay something? Did I forget to pay someone? No, Utah charges less in taxes than California. It's that simple. Yes. We do have an income tax and our rate is just under 5%, and that's across the board. It's like a flat tax. Everybody is at the same rate. Now I've heard in California the top rate right now is 13%, but I've also heard that they would like to raise that top rate to 17%. So my question is, if they raise it to 17%, does that mean everybody below that rate also will see a bump? Good question. Let me know in the comments down below. And also, we do have a sales tax rate. It is 7.25%, which I believe is lower than the state of California. We also have a property tax on homes. But once again, this is much, much, much lower than California. Now, all jokes aside, the state does need taxes to keep it going, to build roads, schools, many other projects. We do need money. It has to come from somewhere. It's just here in the state of Utah, we collect a little less than the state of California. And it's not just taxes. It's what I call the little items that can add up over the month. Gasoline is lower here in the state of Utah. Maybe $1, $1.50 a gallon. Electricity is lower. Natural gas is lower in Utah. Pay to park. There are many places in California you have to pay to park to visit an attraction or something like that. There are very few places in Utah where you have to pay to park. Not as many, nowhere near as many as California. Grocery items are lower. When you walk into a grocery store, milk, bread, eggs, 50 cents here, 75 cents there. I'll walk into a store in California, it'd be $20 bill, and I would say, in Utah, that would have been $15. Fast food prices, slightly higher in California. Restaurant prices, slightly higher. And the list goes on and on. Everyday items, slightly higher in California. $1 here, $1 there, $5 there. It soon adds up. And I really notice it when I vacation in California. Coming in number 2 on my list, you're driving down the streets of Utah. You will notice a lack of hypodermic needles, urine, feces, and homeless people. And no, we did not just have a tornado or a flood. It's the way we like to keep our streets. The state tries really hard to help out the homeless individuals and put them into programs to help them make improvements and live a better life. And if there are criminals on the streets, well, law enforcement will get involved and make sure they get off the streets. Now, I know in California over the last couple years, the situation is really bad. Homeless situation, the theft, the crime. But don't worry, in Utah, there has not been a natural disaster that has swept everything away. Coming at number 3 on my list, you'll notice in the state of Utah, when you get out of your car for the first time or get off that airplane flight for the first time and you take a deep breath, you're going to say, wow, I can't smell marijuana. Well, marijuana is not legal in the state of Utah. Now, medical marijuana is legal, but recreational marijuana, no, absolutely not legal. I've got a brother in Denver. I make many trips to Las Vegas. And when I walk the streets of those particular cities, I instantly know I'm no longer in Utah. Coming at number 4 on my list, another thing that might be a little different here than California. When you are walking through the towns and the cities, you may notice that there are cars that have all their windows. Yes, no broken windows. I see very few broken windows. I've been told in many states that to prevent theft, you should leave your windows down and they will not break your windows trying to steal something out of your car. I've also never seen in Utah where people will raid stores. They'll pull up in cars, in groups, run into a store, rob the store, get in their cars and drive away. Now, I've heard that happening in many cities in California. I also hear in the state of California that they will not prosecute you if you steal something under a certain dollar amount. Now, that doesn't happen in Utah. If you steal, you will be prosecuted. And with some of these measures, it helps keep the crime low in the state. And I know for some people leaving the state of California that this may seem unusual, but that's how we do it in the state of Utah. Coming in at number 5 on the list, in the state of Utah, we have the right to defend ourselves. There have been many states where there have been violent protests. Doesn't seem to happen in Utah. I've also read where people have been seriously injured or even died just going to a Dodger baseball game. Never heard of anything like that in the state of Utah, going to a pro sports or a college sports game. I've also seen a rash of home invasions and burglaries in California. Now I have a warning for you. Many homes in Utah have a vast gun collection. How do I know? I've been in many homes. And there's no way I'd ever burglarize someone's house in the state of Utah. Let's take a quick moment to talk about Utah's self-defense statute. It falls under Section 76-2-402, Utah's self-defense law. A person can use force when he or she reasonably believes it's necessary to prevent harm. The danger presented must be imminent in nature and serious enough to cause injury or death. Force is also justified to prevent a forcible felony. Coming in number 6 on my list, something else that we smell in the state of Utah. It's called freedom. I know at one time in California, you used to smell it also. Our rights are very well preserved by our government and its people. And recently, we had this little problem called COVID. Many states had mandates galore. But in Utah, the people stood up and said, not in our state. And the government said, okay. I also remember in California, everything was shut down. I remember Disneyland was shut down, but on the East Coast, Disney World was wide open. Well, in the state of Utah, our national parks were wide open, and we received visitors from all over the country. I actually saw a record number of visitors to our national parks during that time period. Coming in number 7 on my list, after you've been here a while, you will notice that we have a ton of mountains, trails, and forests. And maybe you decide to go and explore. You may want to venture some of these great destinations. And when you're out there in the woods, a man may appear all dressed in camo gear, and he may have a rifle. And no, this is not a special military operation. This is what we call a hunter. And we do have a long hunting season. You can hunt for elk, deer, moose, and many other animals. So there's no need to call the police. Everything is okay. So obviously, I'm joking around a little bit and I'm poking fun at California, but seriously, out of the hundreds of people that have reached out and called us, a lot of them were Californians. And I would say 99% of them were people just like you would find in Utah. They just want to be left alone and have their freedoms and enjoy life and not have the government take every penny that they make and tell them what kind of weapons they can own and what kind of cars they can drive. They just want to be free like America was back in the day. If you are Californian, I hope you were not offended. And if you have any kind of questions, by all means, reach out to me. Glad to help any way that I can. And until the next video, take care and stay safe.